Now let's look at how we can actually start building these surfaces. So first off, let me just hide some of these that we don't want anymore. Okay. So first we can start by using a boundary surfaces component. And actually I'll want to ensure I graphed this geometry output. So into this boundary surfaces, I essentially want to create a boundary between these and the initial offset curve. Right? So I don't want to actually fill in these panels, I just want to fill between these curves and these ones. So there we have that. Now that we've got those, we can start extruding these and giving them some thickness. So I'll just go back into perspective view, and we can just grab a extrude component, and these are the surfaces we want to extrude. And so we want to give them a direction and a distance to extrude by. So we want them to extrude up, so we'll grab a unit Z, and I want to extrude them by 200 millimeters. So plug that in and that into the direction, and now we can see it has some thickness. Cool. So we have this nice facade, however it is not on our initial reference surface. So to do that, we can grab a surface morph component, okay. So the geometry that we want to morph are these. And the reference is essentially asking for a reference box to map from. So we have to essentially create a box around this. So you can just grab another extrude. And into this extrude, we want to use the initial rectangle that we have. So I'll just grab that one, drag it across into this space, into a boundary surface just so it's a bit easy to see. Boundary surface. So that into there, and this into there. And for the direction, we can just use the same unit Z with a 200. So now we have that box, we can just hide that. And now this extrusion can act as our reference. And now it's asking for a surface, so we can simply use this same surface that we referenced in at the beginning. And now it's asking for a U, V, and W domain. So we want to use the same UV domain of this surface. All we need to do is grab a deconstruct domain squared, and we can create a little notch in this and then plug in that U and that V. And for the W domain, we could just set it to 100 mil. And we'll just let that load for a second. Cool, there it is. Let me just hide that surface. And we can hide a bunch of these. Great. Let's plug a custom preview. Awesome. And that's how you can do a perforated diagrid facade.